Before humans gave them names, before enclosures created rules, they already existed, living in the wild with one simple purpose: to survive. This is about the milk you drink every day. This is about what's right in front of you, about something that seems ordinary, but has changed far more than we realize. Because humans didn't just live alongside them, we selected, and through those choices, we changed them. Today, some animals on Earth are no longer shaped by natural evolution. They are shaped by us, and this is the list of the most extremely modified animals. We begin with the closest one. The chicken you eat as meat, the eggs you consume every day from laying hens, the Polish chicken that looks like it has a flower on its head, even the ayam cemani that is completely black, even to its flesh. All of these chickens are actually not that different. They are not different species. They all come from the same lineage. Long ago, chickens only lived in the tropical forests of Southeast Asia, known as the Gallus gallus. Their appearance was simple, natural feathers, small, agile, and fully capable of surviving in the wild. Nothing strange, nothing special, until humans arrived. Humans began to choose. Chickens that laid more eggs were kept. The calmer ones were raised. The slightly different ones were separated and then bred. Chickens with longer feathers were bred with others like them. Bigger chickens were bred with bigger ones. And this process kept repeating, not once, but hundreds, even thousands of generations. Slowly, changes began to appear, from ordinary to different, from natural to shaped by human selection, until eventually, hundreds of chicken breeds were created. But here's the interesting part. Scientifically, they are still the same. All chickens still belong to Gallus gallus domesticus. Your pet dog isn't just a cute animal. It is a remnant of a wolf, not a metaphor. Every dog in the world comes from one ancestor, the gray wolf. Around 15,000 to 40,000 years ago, some wolves started approaching humans, not because they were friendly, but because they saw an opportunity, leftover food, safety, and slowly the least aggressive ones survived. That's where it all began. Humans didn't instantly create dogs, they simply chose. The calmer ones were allowed to breed. The more aggressive ones were removed from the line. And without realizing it, humans started shaping a new species. Generation after generation, wolves turned into something different, more friendly, closer to humans, more dependent, until eventually we got the domestic dog. But even though their bodies changed, something remained: instinct. That's why your dog chases anything that moves: balls, cats, even sticks. That's not just playing, that's hunting practice inherited from its ancestors. And when your dog follows you everywhere, that's not random. Wolves live in packs, and now that pack is you. You are its family, its safety, its home. Even the way dogs howl at night, that's not a new habit. That's an ancient language still living inside them. So when you see your dog sleeping peacefully at home, remember this. Inside that gentle body, there is still something wild. Not gone, just adapted. Because a dog is not just a pet, it is a wolf chosen by humans, shaped over time, and eventually chose to stay. Cows were never designed by nature to serve humans. In the wild, their ancestor, the aurochs, produced very little milk, just enough to feed its calf. There was no excess, nothing that humans could harvest every day. Then around 10,000 years ago, humans began to domesticate them. At first it was simple, for pulling plows, helping in the fields, and for meat. But humans didn't stop there. They started selecting. The calmer cows were kept, the stronger ones were bred, and the ones that produced slightly more milk were chosen again. This process repeated for thousands of years. The result? modern cows that can produce dozens of liters of milk every day, not because of nature, but because of human selection. And this transformation didn't stop at milk. In Japan, humans developed Wagyu cattle with a completely different goal: meat. Not just any meat, but meat with fine fat spread dactyl the muscle, known as marbling, selected, bred, and carefully maintained until it became Wagyu, a 5, one of the highest quality beefs in the world, so tender it almost melts in your mouth. From the same ancestor, humans created two very different outcomes. One became a source of massive milk production. The other became one of the most premium meats in the world. Cows didn't change on their own. They were shaped by humans. Sheep don't actually need to be sheared to survive. Wild sheep originally had thin coats that could naturally shed on their own. And even today, wild sheep still exist. Some still live freely in the mountains, like the mouflon. They don't grow excessive wool, and they don't depend on humans. But then, humans stepped in. Around 10,000 years ago, people began domesticating them. The ones with thicker wool were selected. The calmer ones were bred. This process repeated, over and over, for thousands of years, until eventually modern sheep were created. Ovis aries. Their wool no longer sheds. Instead, it keeps growing endlessly. In the wild, this would be a disadvantage, but with humans, it became an advantage, because humans shear them and keep them alive. And without realizing it, their paths split. The wild remained independent. The domesticated became dependent. This isn't just domestication. This is the moment humans began directing evolution. What we see today may no longer be nature in its original form, but a version we have shaped. And maybe the real question now is not how far they've changed, but how far we will continue to change them. If you want to see the world a little deeper, subscribe.